Optimism announces their latest token airdrop. Banks are moving to Avalanche for RWAs. And is there a bearish case for Bitcoin to return to $49,000? This is your Altcoin Buzz News. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when we drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, AltcoinBuzzIO, and as always, not financial advice. We wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Have you guys seen our new trading section in Discord yet? Starting this week, we now have a dedicated trading section to discuss all kinds of altcoins and TA. On top of that, I'm also sharing my own trading setups that I'm taking in real time that you can follow along with, as well as educational videos to help you get started trading. But if you're not a trader, no worries. We have sections on Bitcoin, altcoins, gaming, and NFTs as well, and it's all for free. So join us in the Discord today with the link down below. Ctrl Wallet's migration of their xDefi token to the new Ctrl token is coming soon. Ctrl Wallet is a leading Web3 self-custody wallet that supports over 2,100 blockchains, crypto, and NFTs, empowering DeFi users via its robust features, intuitive interface, and multi-chain capabilities. Previously, they were the xDefi wallet, but as that was too limiting, they rebranded to Ctrl Wallet, and their token will be migrating this October 17th as well. They wrote on X, key dates and info, on October 17th, the migration portal goes live. Migrate until September 2025, gas free on us until December 31st, 2024. We'll fund a Ctrl ETH pool on Uniswap, and our market maker will ensure price consistency between xDefi and Ctrl. On October 22nd, all the trading and deposits will stop on these exchanges, and then on October 23rd, Ctrl trading begins on exchanges. And adding to that, they're doing a 30,000 Nero giveaway by teaming up with Nero on ETH to raffle off a total of 30,000 Nero tokens to the Ctrl beta testing community. To enter the giveaway, just complete the quest on Galaxy. So check out Ctrl Wallet and their new token and giveaway with the links down below. Alright guys, starting off with Bitcoin today, is there a Bitcoin capitulation coming that can send us down to sub 50K? I hope not, but let's see. I mean, this analysis released by Cole Garner says that a capitulation is incoming, and Bitcoin stands to gain from global liquidity trends, which is what we've been saying with the M2 money supply going up. But what first might come would shock the average trader. So Cole Garner says here on X that liquidity on-chain is tightening. I smell a capitulation incoming, which is a common prerequisite for a full bull. So he says here the tether ratio channel, he says this is going to go back down and liquidity is going to tighten, which is going to send us back down to sub 50K. He goes on to say, the top-down style, liquidity on chain starts at its source, the central banks. Liquidity vision is my lens. It's primed for a buy signal. If China doesn't ring that bell, the Fed or Japan should do the job, but more downside should come first. He said stablecoin supply is down from the start of October. Its quarterly rate of change tends to lead price. So he's saying that liquidity is going to go down, and it has gone down since the start of October. And then before we can go full bull, we need to have a little bit more pain. He says range lows before the 100K. We could have this, and now so he puts up this chart where he's targeting these lows to sweep these lows before 49K. Now I don't agree with Cole, but it's important to have these different theses out there so you can have both sides. I don't think this is actually going to happen, but it's important to see, what his thoughts are. So he says, when and if we get there, your job is to bid that. Out of ammo, that's fine. Your other job, just don't puke your coins. If this plays out, it should be our final entry opportunity of the bull. The dream long, don't get shaken out. Now, I don't agree with him because I don't think we will get that bad again, because we had the, we had Germany selling Bitcoin, and then we had the Japan yen carry trade unwinding, and basically all of these things just happening all at once, which sent us down to sub 49K. So when these three things happened, we had Bitcoin hit a level that I personally didn't think could happen at the time, but it happened. Now, to get us down to that point where we've already had a 50 basis point cut, we are going into the election season. China has just had a multiple $140 billion liquidity boost to their market. China just had their, hugest stock rally, 40% in their stock. So all these things are happening where global liquidity is coming. And also after the Japan yen carry trade, Japan was like, okay, my bad. We're going to stop doing this. We're going to stop tightening like we were saying, which caused this, unrolling of the carry trade. So to get down to 49K again, I'm not saying it can happen, but with China, Japan, and the US, cutting rates now and seeing what happened a couple months ago at the beginning of August with that last dip down to 49K, I don't see it as totally plausible again, but I also didn't see 49K happening in the first place. So not saying it can't happen, but I don't think it's as likely anymore. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. And actually, coming down here, it only took the entire week to play out. I thought this would happen like a day or so, but it's pretty much exactly what I thought would happen on Sunday. We'd come down here, retest these lows. I think ultimately probably going to come back and take out these wicks, maybe wick down here into below 59K, and then come back and reclaim and go back up. So everything is playing out as I thought this week. It just took a little bit longer. Now, moving on, we have Optimism news. Optimism airdrops 10.3 million OP tokens. Now, there's two opinions on this. First off, Optimism, which is a layer 2, has done their 5th airdrop, granting 10.3 million OP tokens, valued around $16 million. Now, the thing I'll say about this is a blockchain can do great things, but it doesn't mean their token price is going to go up. Like, I like Optimism. I like what they're doing with base and everything. And the OP stack is, the main thing that a lot of layer 2s are using to build their layer 2s. So I like what Optimism is doing, but I don't think this helps the token price overall. It's good for anyone who got the airdrop, but doing good things doesn't always necessarily mean token price goes up, which we'll get to in a second. So for the latest airdrop, Optimism specifically selected users from networks including OP Mainnet, Base, and several others. Pretty much anyone, I'm sure, who was using the OP stack. So this is, if you were using Base, which a lot of people did this summer, you might want to check if you had the airdrop. And so wallets with a minimum of 20 different contracts within Superchain between March 15th and September 15th have potential airdrop distribution. So you might want to go check that. But going to the OP chart, we know that when airdrops come, people sell because they want free money. And so this doesn't necessarily bode well for the token price. It's a good thing that Optimism is doing this, but it doesn't bode well for the price. Now, if we look at this, there's a big support line here at around $1.15. Now, in technical analysis, you see this a lot where we have these buildup of higher lows. The only issue is, and if you saw my video on Sunday talking about TA, there's a difference between this, which is healthy, upward trend, and this. Because what happens is these stops are so close, everyone who is trading this puts their stops below these, and that's what leads to liquidation cascades. So when there's just slow buildups like this, and there's no gap in between, there's no big space in between, what happens is liquidation cascade, where the price goes down, triggering stops, and it just triggers. So all these stops that are below these wicks here will most likely get triggered. And with Optimism having now this, airdrop, there's more selling pressure. So there's now, what is it, $16 million worth more of selling pressure. And anyone who reads this news and knows that there's selling pressure is also probably going to add on to that. So there's tens of millions of dollars of selling pressure that could then lead this back down to $1.15. So I would not be surprised if we do a little bit of an underside retest here and then come and just stop out all these wicks, especially if Bitcoin goes down to around 59K. I could see all of these getting hit, and then we come back to support here, and then we'll reclaim it. That's probably what's going to happen with Optimism. I like what they're doing, but the price, price is a little bit different in the short term, at least. Ultimately, we probably will come back up later in the cycle, but that's short term. Next, Avalanche. Avalanche's price jumps as Littio Bank chooses Avalanche over ETH. So Littio, which is a Colombian neobank, has announced that it's a yield pods platform will no longer operate on ETH, but on Avalanche. And this is to increase the appetite. No, this is for the increased appetite of US Treasury bills and enhance efficiency in transactions with customers. So in light of the increased need of investors to gain access to Treasury bills, Littio is now using Avalanche instead of Ethereum. Avalanche is doing big things as well with their game. They're doing huge stuff with gaming, and they're also doing stuff with RWAs as well. Pretty much everyone's trying to hop into RWAs. The Avalanche Foundation is backing it with a $50 million initiative to support RWA creation on its network. So this is big news for Avalanche and RWAs in the future. But again, I also don't think this is going to do anything in the in the short term for the price, at least. If this was the peak bull market, that news might have pumped a little bit. But where we are right now, that news I don't think is going to have that much of an effect on it. If we did have this pump, I don't know what kind of pump they were talking about in this article, but it definitely wasn't a major pump. And I don't think that news is going to be enough to pump the price. we're probably coming back down here at least to 25 in the short term. Or sorry, 24 to the short term. So while this is great news, this isn't news that is probably going to, make the market go up a whole bunch. But in the future, when they start announcing more RWA stuff, and we are in a bull market, it'll probably go up a lot more. Moving on, we have Chiliz price shoots up 13% after the Binance airdrop support. Going back to airdrops again. So Chiliz, the cryptocurrency of the sports blockchain platform Chiliz, saw a surge after Binance announced support for the airdrop of their Pepper crypto token, which is going to be their first meme coin. So on Thursday today, the initial snapshot of the Pepper airdrop will take place, followed by 3 more snapshots later this month. Now, to qualify, you need to hold a minimum of 100 Chiliz in their wallets, including funding spot and margin wallets. Now, this is an interesting mechanic, which this article probably won't tell you about, but I'll tell you about in terms of TA in a second. As a result of this development, the Chiliz price has shot up significantly as investors seek to get more Pepper coins following today's airdrop snapshot. And as a part of the arrangement, Chiliz token holders will receive 1,000 Pepper tokens for every 150 Chiliz held by them. The airdrop snapshot will also happen between today, the 10th, and the 31st of this month. Now, that's important because what is going to happen with price? This is what's going to happen with price. Today is the 10th. This is the snapshot, the final snapshot date, supposedly. So what's most likely going to happen is as people buy more Chiliz to hold and get the airdrop token, it might come back up to this resistance, maybe not even as high. But as soon as this comes back down, it's going to dump on the 31st and come back to this next level of support, most likely. So it's a bit of a weird thing because you have to buy Chiliz in order to get this airdrop, but then your Chiliz might lose a bunch of value if you're buying anywhere at the top here. So you have to kind of decide if the value of the airdrop is worth the amount you might potentially lose by holding spot Chiliz. Not to say Chiliz can't go back up later, but most likely once everyone has gotten the airdrop and they no longer need to hold Chiliz, it's probably going to dump back down if it doesn't do it before then. So you have to kind of weigh that out and see if it's worth the risk of going and buying your Chiliz tokens in order to get a meme coin airdrop. So, but this is what I expect to happen. It might not even come this high to this resistance here. It might just come somewhere up here and then dump before. We have to see how much people are actually excited about a first meme coin on the Chiliz blockchain when there's a bunch of other blockchains that have meme coins right now. Then moving on, Mythos drives 3.6 million new users to Polkadot. So Mythos, which is a gaming chain on Polkadot. Mythos is widening the network's presence on the Polkadot ecosystem. Since the launch of Mythos, the company has accumulated a lot of users. They've actually, I think it's closer to 6 million now, which is pretty insane. Yeah, the users followed this record, skyrocketed about 5.5 million daily active users to this account, to Polkadot. And Polkadot, which is an interoperability chain, hasn't done well this past couple years, but the chains that are building on Polkadot are doing pretty well. So it's less about Polkadot and more about the chains building on it, like Mythos. And Mythos is actually pretty cool. Mythos is a gaming chain, and I'm hoping we start to see a lot more gaming developments coming up because I'm excited about Web3 gaming, but it's been very slow lately. And so the goal of Mythos Foundation is to reduce barriers of entry for game developers wanting to build. And Mythos is actually pretty cool. They've had some good games come out. I mean, they've had NFL Rivals, Blancos, and Nitro Nation. So they've had like this. I know NFL Rivals is like a big game that has done very well. So they've basically had, I'm guessing they had a huge campaign, and so they're bringing a bunch more users on chain. But Mythos is one, along with a couple other gaming companies that I'm hoping do well. Avalanche is also doing huge stuff in gaming. So I'm hoping that these companies, bring more gamers, and gaming is one of the ways that I think users will come to, Web3 from Web2. And so Mythos is another cool one. I'm hoping it does well, and I'm hoping that they bring a lot more adoption. But that's it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys tomorrow.